Welcome back, friends, to Let's Play Victoria 2. It has been decided by popular vote that we are going to go along with our little causus belli on the Turkish Caliphate to take the rest of Indochina. So that's what we're going to do. The Vinlong region here. See how much time we have left on this causus belli. Okay, well, next year, exactly. So, it would probably be a good idea for us to wait so that we can get a lot of troops into position, because this is going to be probably a long move. And that needs some cleaning up. A fairly long, I would expect, war, with the Turks having troops all along our expected front, as we are going to drag Polotzkin with us. I guess we can just try to mess with them as much as possible, so that we have our ally here in. We were just fighting the Soviets, so the Soviets are not going to help us. We were allied with them before. They're at war with Azerbaijan now. They're probably going to kill them. But, I mean, there's no way of knowing. Rome's not going to help us, so we're pretty much fighting the Caliphate by ourselves. Which we've done a couple times in the past, but who knows what kind of... They might even be ahead of us in technology, which I doubt. But it's possible they could have tanks over here somewhere. And pretty much the only thing we can rely on is Polotsk helping us. I don't expect it to be very difficult, considering that we basically just have to grab this section here, and we'll probably be good. And I'm just going to hang back and let... I'll probably actually put some of my troops into Polotsk's territory, because it looks like they're going to take the brunt of the action. Looks like they got about 200,000 troops over here. Yeah, looks pretty close to that. If not more, behind the lines and stuff. It looks like our border is pretty undefended with them, with the exception of these small groups. So they might be plotting to do something against them anyway. I think 70,000. Oh, this is almost 80. This is a little under 80,000 troops. Be more than enough to take care of this, assuming they don't mobilize. They probably will mobilize. Now that I think of it, this is a little bit of a concern. We switched back to, what's it called, reactionary, so, yeah, and, my tanks are still not done. Lag. Not even close to being done. Nobody's building any barrels. My factories are probably not even close to being done. Oh no, they're pretty close to being done. 31 days. So, yeah. Pretty good estimate. We'll have a pretty good amount of tanks, I hope. Other than that, probably just going to be moving my troops up, moving my troops over, moving my troops around any way I can to... Cat? To keep things together. So I will be back when I have something else to report. Oh, well. Looks like Lithuania has actually gotten a chunk of the Soviet Union. Looks like we hit them a bit harder than I thought. I could have thought that they would easily defeat these upstarts, but it doesn't look like that is the case. We're almost finished with aeronautics, and I wanted to take a look at that war. Not this. Diplomacy. Looks rather inconsequential, but, they're occupying a lot of stuff, but it's not worth a whole lot. They do have some 0% provinces. I don't know. We've been working on Polotsk. They're in our sphere, and we've been decreasing their opinion of the Turkish Caliphate, trying to get them to break their alliance. Hopefully they do that soon. So we got about 6 months before we have to start the war. Before we have to start the war. Let's take a look at our what's it called? Infamy. We can afford to grab something else. I don't think there's really any reason to, but we can. Let's just work with the free causes belli for now, and once we start the war, we can think about getting other things, because this is going to be a slog either way. And here we go. Aeronautics finished. Okay, that's already paused. Okay, Navy, I think, is the way to go here. We're well complemented. Army. What is it we need? Could use some more organization, I think. I was given advice on this, but I don't remember what it was. We're definitely got good industry culture. So, Navy, commerce is not that, honestly, not that important. So, this is supply range. I think we should go for, well, this would be a good idea, but it's going to increase our consumption. And I don't think our dreadnoughts and cruisers are that much of a risk of being outclassed at this point. So we're going to go for this. It's not much on paper, or it's not much to look at, but it gives pretty significant boosts. Like this is pretty significant, and this is huge, and that's a lot of organization. So we're going to go with that for now. Preparations are pretty much done. We've got several navies available. We've got several armies available. Probably outnumber them. I don't know. Just with the numbers I have on the front that I can see, looks like I outnumber them probably about 6-1. But then again, I don't have a lot of my troops committed in places. I've got a lot of troops I can pull from nearby areas like this. This and this, and I'm counting in that number. And of course, I have tons of navies I could use to ship more troops. They're taking care of these problems here, and there's only one more rebel to take care of, so not a big deal. Also, want to update the fact that I've actually started building some tanks. So yeah, that's exciting. Where was that again? Belfast. So, here. And that will be done on March 31st. So we have that to look forward to. I don't think those tanks will see any combat, but who knows. I have my old fleets around here just to blockade. They only have this for a I guess a water border, a coast, if you will. So it will be relatively easy for me to protect this. And it doesn't look like anybody else is going to get involved in the war, unless we can check. Ally with Polotsk, they're my spheres, so they'll join my side. And they're sphered with a bunch of inconsequential people that don't matter. Mongolia might join the war, but they're not going to do anything to me. And in fact, triggering this might cause somebody else to declare war on them too. Mongolia, that is. So, Manchuria, Russia, or Japan. But that's speculation. Obviously, I don't know if that'll happen or not. Unlike other sessions, I haven't had to do this several times, so I don't have an inkling of what's going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to wait until May. I think that's the month before I need to get rid of this. I always forget this stuff. I have a terrible memory, short-term memory. Yeah, okay. So May would be a good time to start cut and then come back if anything else happens before then. Got some discoveries here. In this guy, some guy at the University of Leipzig. Prestige, whatever. And pre-planned depot system, which is army organization and supply consumption. So that's actually really good. I think I can build airplanes now. I'm not going to do it in this menu. Can't build armies in regions like this. Like this. No, I still can't. Oh, maybe I just can't build them in colonies. 57 regiments? What? I can build British airplanes, okay. So let's find a place I can build British airplanes. Build some airplanes closer to the front. Apparently you can only build them in your culture. Which is, I don't know, it's restrictive, so I guess that's cool. It makes it far too easy sometimes to just build a bunch of crap in, like in the normal game I would just build tanks and airplanes and stuff in my non-core cultures. Because it's just better to build guards for your accepted cultures, unless you just have a lot. Or, yeah, accepted cultures. Or primary culture, depending on what kind of place you have that they have accepted cultures or not. So I'm building a few of those. I'll probably put a couple in each army, see how that works out. And, yeah. There's another discovery, the Flying Circus Doctrine. Hope it's not Monty Python's Flying Circus. That would just be silly. Anyway, Airplane Organization +1. Which is, good. Well, it looks like Azerbaijan has gotten peace with the Soviets. They are in a bad way if tiny little dudes are cutting chunks off of them. Nobody has... Well, Azerbaijan actually scored on these. I guess it just wasn't plausible to go for a grab of two things. For that, yeah. Good on them, though. This is Armenia. Good on them. It actually looks like Catalonia is now fascist. Yep, fascist dictatorship. Kind of expected that with that much fascism, so not a surprise. Getting pretty close to our first tank finishing. I'm excited. Here it is, the first Belfast armor. Oh yeah. They're actually not super good, but they're, it's a tank. Notice the minus 40% hills attack. Just built them because, build them. I'll probably be sending a navy over here to get them. Because I built most of my tanks in Europe, so. Actually, does this have weight? Yes, it does. And I'm not going to need this in Europe, so. We'll just get this whole complement of troops over. Or as much of them as we can. Okay, so, that probably won't probably won't get there by the time I actually declare, so. But I'll definitely send them off. Alrighty, it is time to go. Okay. How should we start this? Well, obviously, we want everything we can get into the ocean. Our tanks obviously aren't here yet. To protect, well, not protect, but to blockade their coast. And see if we can find their navy. I think it's here. That's one ship. We will see if we can flush it out. I guess my attack plan, I need like a John Madden telestrator, is just to hold the line in Polotsk as much as I can, occupy as many of their troops here with Polotsk's troops and things that I can, and then kind of try to drive a wedge through them up here like I usually do, while keeping them tied up wherever I can along the front. Probably Polotsk, considering how many troops they got there. I've got a few armies here, but not a whole lot that I can actually commit at one time. But they have a huge army here. And then I have this army here, if I need it, and then these two armies here. This one will probably end up moving in fairly soon, and then these armies here, and then this army. So I've got two huge armies right here that'll push up through, and then this one will probably just defend here and watch to make sure nothing else is happening. Same with like this army. But this one will probably end up being split when I fight that. But I'll probably end up doing a surprise attack with these guys. I don't think I can actually cross here. No. And I can actually build more troops here, but I'm not going to. So, let's get things underway. And we are going for the Vinlong region. Protected by one nation, which is Polotsk. And then let's head this off at the pass by calling them into the war. Okay. And we want to see the initial movements. I find it's not very useful to fight along a wide front, so I'm really at a disadvantage here as far as that goes, but I'm strong enough that it probably shouldn't matter. I usually like to conserve my forces and keep everything as tight as I can, but I don't really have the opportunity to do that. I can attack straight here, so I'm going to, and then move him up like this. Other 39, I will move actually down here to add a little bit more oomph to this attack. Okay. And then my fleets are already told to move out. Now here, I don't know if it's a good idea to have this many troops here, so I'm going to split them down to about half their original size, simply because I don't want to lose most of them to attrition. Go. And minus 10% morale. Let's see if we can do any better than that. Nope. Okay. I don't really have the luxury of assigning leaders any other way, so no, that's my only way to get in from there, so you will actually stay here. Then I want to do the same thing here. Split things up. This is going to be a much more specialist-driven. Oh, I gotta go get some regulars here. Can't afford to use a whole lot of those, though. Considering I only have 2 here. Alright. And of course the one with the general is going to go in. Simply move them out. That's a good army. Some guards. Well, that's all it is, so never mind. It's not a very good army. Let's move up. Let's go like this. think a good idea would be to bait them into here. Because this is a good, I guess, not exactly a trap, but a good place to bait them into. Okay, we need to consolidate these troops. It's a bit spread out. I'm spending far too much time on these war preparations for something that's not gonna... Well, it's probably actually gonna take a long time. But, it might not be that difficult. Okay. Let's check their opening moves. See if Polotsk actually helps us. Of course they did. Okay, so they're gonna get crushed by... That's a man of war? Seriously? Okay, so now Polotsk is in with us. So my only question was whether Polotsk was usually going to join our side and their side, or their side. And it's pretty clear to me who it picked, but hey, it could have gone the other way. Okay. What do we got? Okay. Actually go here. Well, no. Because of what I want to do is to move those troops too. How are you moving? They're going up that way. Okay, so it looks like they might be consolidating their troops. Alright, I just want to hold this. I want to make sure that Polotsk doesn't do anything stupid. So I guess I'll just mirror their moves. They're going to bulk, I'm going to bulk.